And welcome, folks, to the talk show. Let the truth be told. I'm your host, Pastor David. And, folks, we got a great show today. We're going to have several conversations. We're going to talk about what happened when parents are not parents and we allow our children to do whatever they're doing without any supervision. We're also going to talk about a bit about an incident in Chicago where a woman got set on fire and other current news and events. So if you ain't got nothing to do, call your friends and let them know. You're listening to Let the Truth Be Told Radio. I'm your host, Pastor David. Come on in. And welcome. Thank you. And welcome. Thank you. Welcome, folks, to the talk show, Let the Truth Be Told. I'm your host, Pastor David. And first, let me give all praises to God and my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for making it possible for me to be here. And I want to welcome the listeners, first-time, new listeners. I want to thank all the groups that watch this show. I want to say this first to those groups. We need you to start to go to our platform, which is letthetruthbetold.lightcast.com. And the reason why I'm asking the groups to go there is because when you don't see us show to you and it shows up at your group, then you need to understand that Facebook is playing games and trying to stop the thread from coming. So if you go directly to our platform, which is letthetruthbetold.lightcast.com, we don't have to worry about those interruptions or things of that nature. So that's why we got this platform, so that we can continue to bring you the news, the truth, so that we can change the way you think, so that we can change the way the conditions we are in today. Let me say this, man, and I say this from the bottom of my heart. I just think right now, it's not too late. Because see, with God, everything is possible. I don't care how bad the situation looked, and I don't care how many times you've been defeated, but you got up to fight again, then God is with you. And I know, to the American people and patriots across this country, especially to the Black community, to my brothers and sisters in the Black community, we have lost structure of family. We do not have the structure that our parents taught us. That's why we are seeing all the things we are seeing that's happening to the Black community. It's because the manhood of our young Black men and women have been stolen. The opportunities, the mindset, that structure is gone from the Black community. And that's why we are seeing so much foolishness. You're seeing young people fighting adults because they don't respect them. Fathers are not in the families like they should be. And those who are there are being put into the place where they don't or can't say the things that they need to say. The Black community has went from being just like Opie Taylor on Andy and Mayberry. Black people came up that way, a father and a mother, or a significant other in a household. But the structure of becoming men and women stayed intact. That structure of family, that structure of man, woman, and child is no longer in place. We got the LGBT group jumping up in there. Most of our Black men are locked up in prison. Our sisters have went on to think that they don't need a man, but yet they're raising boys who don't know how to be men. That's what this show is about. This show is about trying to get some sanity to an insane world in the Black community. Nobody else's community go through this foolishness, only the Black community. And it's all by design. I saw it coming. And because of the bad leadership, these Negroes like Brandon Johnson, these organizations who are the NGOs who are getting the money, who hate Black people. We got a bunch of Negroes that hate Black people. You got people in college with all this knowledge and education. You would think that the Black community would be thriving just like the white community, the Chinese community, the Italian community. All these other communities are intact and the family structure is still intact. Only the Black community family structure is gone. So what we're seeing now is all by design. And I have to be honest with the American people and patriots across this country, especially Black people. We don't know our enemy. It's pitiful that I have to watch on television a mother be attacked by our children that's running around like a pack of dogs, wild animals. But it was brought this way to be designed this way. Because the Black man is the most powerful man on the face of this planet. He just don't know it. It's time for us to open our eyes and take our families back. That's why Pastor's sitting here dedicated to opening the prison doors. That's why I'm dealing with a lot of things to make sure that we can get our men and our women out of these damn prisons for bullshit crimes. And to the people of Chicago and GD Nation, Stones, Vice Lords, we're sitting back and we're watching this damn J.B. Pritzker keep Larry Hoover in prison because he's going to use him as a pawn. He should have been out already all the time he served, over 2.5 life sentences, and he's still there. So that's the problem Pastor having today. When I watch children that have not had an opportunity to be children, to grow up and understand what it is to have things that they need and don't be out fighting and scrambling. It's time. The Black community need to unify here or we die. Let me bring my guest in. Good afternoon, y'all. How y'all doing? Let me get Randy in here. I guess I can get him in here. Where you at, Randy?
I think he dropped temporarily. Okay. He'll be back.
Okay. Guys, as I was going through my monologue, I get emotional because when I see these things, I see a mother attacked by children, and all these type of things should not be, because y'all know for yourself, as we was coming up and we did something, even thought about foolishness, like thinking of raising a hand to an adult, what would happen? Your thoughts, Grisha?
Oh, we would have got mud stomped. We would have got beat down by somebody's grandma, uncle, auntie in our community. That was not heard of. Disrespecting our elders, disrespecting an auntie or uncle or great auntie or uncle, it was not heard of. At that time growing up, they could lay hands on us and then they'll call our parents. And by the time we got home, we would still get tagged. So I'm an old school grandmother. Does that make sense? So I don't deal with this foolishness. I don't have YNs, grandchildren in the street, not acting right. My oldest one is 15 years old and my youngest one is 3. So I always say, I can't compare my grandchildren to these folks running in the street right now. And that was horrible.
Your thoughts, Doc?
Well, unfortunately, they've been raised by children who raised their children on Grand Theft Auto. And they've been desensitized. right? They do not have any respect for human life. They have no respect for authority because they were raised again by children, right, who were taught not to have respect for authority. So this is generational. COINTELPRO has played a large part in it. The gangster rap culture, another part in it. But it's been specifically targeted against the Black community outside of all other communities. And we really need to ask the bigger question, why?
Mr. Binky.
Yeah, well, there was a few times I got walked home by a neighbor by the arm, and there was a couple of times my grandmother made me choose my own switch to get myself switched. And then Mom took care of it, and then I had to wait for Dad to come home. So, you know, you learn pretty quick not to talk back to even a neighbor. You know, that's not today. It's, you know, there's no respect. These kids today, I mean, even around my house here, I live across the street from the school. The attitude of these 8, 9, 10, 12-year-old kids it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well,
but have you ever thought about, this is literally the crackhead generation children right now that's in the street? Think about the crackhead generation. 80s, 90s. Right now, these are their grandkids. We always wondered what was going to happen to these crackhead babies. Well, the crackhead babies done grown up. This is their offsprings now. So Shaken syndrome and crackhead syndrome is still prevalent. And because not only did they release their control over their children, because I was an unwed single mother, had 4 kids before I was 20, but I would bitch at a heartbeat if you even tried to have that. But I also had a village of older grandparents and parents helping me raise my children. Right. So right now, this is the only thing. We always wanted to know what was going to happen to the crackheads that we grew up with. Fling. We are now dealing with their grandchildren.
You know, it's like Dr. Nichols said too, it's generational. I hate to say it this way, but man, 20 years ago when my kids were in grade school, they used to come over here. Their friends used to come from school over here to my house so they could stay here, have fun until their parents came home. Yeah. You know, and most of them didn't even want to go home. Their parents would literally come here and pick them up because they it's like they told me, Mom and Dad's not home. They're out after work and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, this is unreal.
You were a surrogate parent.
Raised to have that fear of authority.
Yes.
Raised to have fear of authority, of leadership, of elderly people. We knew, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Even if you didn't say it, you said something respectful. You didn't fast back. You didn't question them or any of it. But this is how we were raised. And now we're looking out here in society. I just keep saying, I am blessed to break that generational curse. That is all I'm saying.
Well, this is how I look at it, because this just didn't start yesterday. This has been a progressive demasculation of the Black man and the Black family. See, when you see, society sets up the rules on what a man is supposed to do and the responsibilities that he has when he becomes a man and he takes a wife and he creates children. That structure is that's been in place for forever. And when we was raised, we were taught those things. We was told that once you got to be to a place as a young man, like when I got to be 10, my father saw the need to start telling me about sex. He started telling me about the responsibilities. He started showing me things that will lead to me becoming a man and be a responsible man and understand my role in the Black community, in the Black family.
Right.
And one of the things that the most important thing, and I want you guys to respond to this, is that how can you be a man when you do not know how to be one? First of all, men are responsible. That means that in order to accept the fullness of being a man, you got to fulfill all the steps of being there. That means you got to be economically sound. You have to have the intelligence to deal with any situation that arises. You have to be a protector. You have to be a provider. All the things that I was taught and that you guys saw was real men. They were man amongst men in the days of my father. They wore the Godfather hats. They worked the jobs. They made sure they could get a house, that they could take care of a woman. And if they had kids, they bent over backwards to make sure their kids would have a roof over their head and some kind of brain.
Hey, Pastor, while you was talking about that, you know I love to do research. I just typed it in on DuckDuckGo because that's what I use, or Bing. It says before 1968, the administrative agencies in many states created and enforced the man in the house rule. In 1968, the United States Supreme Court struck down a regulation as being contrary of the legislative goal for the aid of family and dependent children is defects or, defects. So basically, this has been going on since the 50s. There's videos out there of a group of women, beautiful Black women. Where's the fathers at? Well, we was told that if we did not allow fathers in our home, we would get more in the welfare benefits and we'd be able to stay in the projects. And they had projects everywhere.
Yes.
So eventually, me just reading it, just to be curious, not being able to point fingers at anybody, 50s and 60s. And thank God I had a parent that had wherewithal of him not to abort any of us. Okay.
Right.
Allow all of us to live and to raise us right, even if she did make mistakes along the way.
Exactly. And that's the point that I'm making, because our young men have been robbed of their manhood if they cannot be responsible and be good men in society to take care of their families and be honorable men. See, there used to be something called honor amongst thieves. And let me explain to you what I mean by that. Even though we had politicians who were in office and their ass was thieves, their most important thing was their family, their children, and their community. They never robbed the community and put money in their pockets unless their community was well taken care of. And so we don't have that today. We don't have that type of honesty and integrity in politicians. And so that's why our communities is in this place, because it was those Black politicians you see in office now that helped destroy the Black family by going along with the program of not trying to create economic developments and make sure the schools will teach our children, who they have most of the day, how to be good citizens in the society.
Yeah, they were placeholders. That was what they were and are. The two main ones, Jesse Jackson and the Reverend Al Sharpton, both of them, because people looked up to them and basically kind of did what they said, right? They were the ones that were kind of hanging around Martin Luther King during that movement. And our parents were deceived, but it all falls into the same pattern. And I always go back to the main question. Why? Why were you so bent on destroying this community? You had several communities you could have destroyed, but you continued to bring in other foreigners over the Black community continuously, even till today. Like, what? It's the why for me.
Well,
why?
And I'm still over here reading.
I'm just saying.
It was literally preferred for white single women. It was called the Mother's Pension Act, but it was only for states. So the federal government had no regulation. So in the 1960s, the federal government stepped in and it started calling it the Mother's Pension Act. And it says, while African Americans were more deeply impoverished, the aid was given mostly solely to white women of Anglo ancestry. One requirement never changed when the mother received public benefits was how she maintained her home with her children. One common requirement was for the women or mother to maintain a suitable home for her children throughout the period taxing and located. It says it is even evident that the Black women had to do to comply with a suitable home requirement was an exhaustive list, including mothers not having a man in the home. So that's where it started.
Okay. But again, like I said, I get you where it started. I get all of the compliance parts of it, but I still have to ask the question, why was it just the Black community?
I'll tell you why.
Why are you so bent on that hatred?
I'll tell you why the Black community was attacked in such a nature to the people, to the American people and patriots across this country. It was the same reason why they destroyed Black Wall Street because everybody want to control the black dollar. That's what that is. Because see, when they destroyed Black Wall Street, because black people had the knack of getting together and banding together and unifying and spending money with each other because there was a mission to do so. And they know that if the black community pull their dollar out of this community and we get our money out of everybody's pockets, that we would reinvest into ourselves and we would be the most powerful people on the planet. Because let's be honest with you, what you're seeing today in Israel and all the other places across the country, in the pieces that are missing in the Bible that tell us who black people are. And the pastors today who are not exploring the Bible, who do know the pieces that are missing in the Bible. But to black Americans across the world who are listening to me now, we are attacked because we are God's truly chosen people. That's the first reason why. And when the black man realizes who he is and he comes together and be the man that America said that he's supposed to be, when he did that, he surpassed that. And the black community thrived. That's why they don't want black people to come together and do what they did with the Black Wall Street. Not only do they want to take our dollar, but they want us to remain in captivity in the mind so they can control us.
At this point, Pastor, I don't care if you got a diploma behind your name or not. If the same black people had anything to do with the Black Wall Streets, and I'm talking about the Lisa Cooks of it all, I'm talking about the Fannie Mae Willises, I'm talking about the Leticia James, everybody that went to school, went to all of these steppers and everything else. We put these people on a higher pedestal. They crooked too. Yes. All these that's going down right now, the Federal Reserve governor down here in Georgia, just retired. If any of those people had anything to do with Black Wall Street, now we could know why it actually crumbled in on itself. So until the people that's supposed to be having these degrees and having all of these initials behind their name, until they up people, until they're not corruptible themselves, I don't care what race you are, I ain't following blindly behind you. So those same type of people are the same people that helped destroy the Black Wall Street. Because if you really do the research in the Black Wall Street, there was two cliques in there. One that wanted ultimate power and to take the money from the other ones and work outside of the community, and the one that only wanted to keep their money on the inside. So you had the Leticia James and the Al Sharptons going against the people that really wanted to keep their money on the inside. So I can't say just because you got a degree that you're smarter than the average person at this point in history.
Well, you know what, that's what I've been telling black people all along, because that's what we allowed to happen. We allowed those type of Negroes to get into power because they understood that politics was the vehicle that can make the change, because they're sitting at the table where the money is being dispersed out. They're sitting at the table with the Pritzkers and the Johnsons, who are now saying, we want a new black community. And so you're exactly right. And that's a hurdle that we're going to have to deal with, because if the black community is going to survive from here, and we don't get rid of that type of leadership and that attitude of these educated people who think that they can make a deal with the devil, we're not going to survive. Your thoughts, Doc?
Yeah, it's sad because, and this is something I've been working on, it's just really looking at the return on investment of the black community, right? It's like, why are you trying to destroy a community that can actually give a return on investment in America? Right? Predominantly, our dollars are pretty much circulated here, even if they're not circulated within our community, right? To create generational wealth. The money's here. The money isn't being made and then shipped outside of the United States. So again, it's really looking at, okay, we have a whole community here that could actually enrich our country. Why aren't we tapping into that? And my whole thing is, I'm not asking why anymore. I'm moving. Yeah, I'm moving covertly, because there's always somebody out there trying to destroy the black community for some reason, because that's their thing. But we're going to get this done. And that's where I keep my mindset to stay positive in moving forward.
Mr. Binky, your thoughts?
Well, I look at it this way. What's being rich? Is this about power? Is this about money? Mm-hmm. And if you're going to get rich by money and power, you need education. You need knowledge. And if you don't have the knowledge, you're a follower. Where are you going to go as a follower? You depend on somebody else to think for you. You depend on somebody else to give you answers. If you don't work to get knowledge, it don't matter. Being powerful and being rich doesn't make you a better person. I don't think it does a community any good when you got people just uneducated about what goes on in the world because they don't want to participate in it. They're part of it, but they don't have no input. I don't know if I'm saying it exactly right, but I mean, you got followers and you got leaders. And if you can't be a leader, if you can't tell yourself I'm a leader of something, then you're just a follower of everything.
That's true. That's true. So check this out. We're going to go ahead on. I'm going to play this clip. And when I look at this clip, I think about what if this was my mother and what would happen after that? Several things come to mind, and I'm sure a lot of the other people thought like I thought, that we're going to whoop some ass. That's the first thing in my mind is, you put your hands on my mama, you finished. There's nothing else to be said. You're finished. And so it only goes to show you how the respect for elders have gone out the tube, and that it shows the condition of the mindset of the parents. See, because one of the ladies talked about, well, my daughter this and your daughter that. Well, if your daughter had some structure and had been disciplined, she would have never touched a mother or an adult. So what you said, Lucretia, is so true, is that now this is the crackhead generation. This is the fallout from what we see, because this is a lot of psychological trauma going on in the Black community right now. And psychologically, we're being defeated because, one, a lot of them don't know nothing about God. I was watching a piece to Brother Tyrone Muhammad was out there with the women, and they was trying to pray, and he was telling them to stand down, but those women stood up and said, no, we got to stand up because we would whoop somebody's butt about this. And so it's now I can see the separation and how they created the gap to not have Black men in a position to be out there to say nothing. You ain't in prison, you ain't making no money, you're not a part of your family's life. So what you gonna say? And that's part of what I was talking about earlier, how Black men have been robbed of their manhood, because in the white community, white folks are always going to make sure that their children are covered. They're going to make sure that they have the needs. They're going to make sure that they be exposed to economics. Because see, I know guys, when I was 14, 15.
There's deadbeat white men too. There's deadbeat white men.
No, but let me finish. Listen to what I'm saying.
Okay, because
I'm talking about a structure, because the white community, no matter how bad your child is, somebody in that community is going to offer an opportunity for that child to get back on track so that he can get a job, he can get a family, he can take care of his kids and pay his bills. See, that's what's missing in the Black community, because that structure of becoming a man, that I know I got to get something in my brain to learn how to do something to make money in the world. The structure of knowing that if I'm going to go and I'm going to date somebody's daughter, I got to get permission, or I have to have the responsibility to protect her while she's with me. Those rules of being men are gone. And that's what I'm talking about. That structure, not just for Black men, but white men too, because, and whatever kind of man it is, because you cannot receive the fullness of manhood if you are not economically sound to do the things a man do. That's what I'm talking about.
Personally, I say the hoods and the woods ain't that far apart. And I know more people in a trailer park that's pinkish color than Black. And I know a whole bunch of people that got 2-story houses that are Black. So what I'm saying, it is a caste system. You got deadbeat white men that don't take care of kids that beat up on their wives, and it's been a generational curse for decades. You got some people, white people, that live in poverty that don't get a hand up or a scratch on the back at all. They don't care. People of power, they don't care about your color. That's why we're talking about Leticia James. That's why we're talking about the brown nosers. But the people that's at the scrubs of society, those Bible thumpers, those trailer parks, those hollow people, the people who live in the projects, we on the same even playing field, because they ain't helping none of us. It's going to be who's going to actually crawl out of there, because I could tell you and point out a lot of little young white kids that ain't got nobody saying, here little Tommy, here's $30, go make something of your life. They don't do that either. So it is not a color game. That color game, a revolution need to be thrown away. We are now in the structure of India. They do not care about your color. They do not care who you sizzle-legging with. It is how much money you or your family have. We are now in a caste system inside of the United States of America. They only keep y'all divided because that's the only thing you can fight about is color, when we're all different shades of wheat.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The race is the caste system, and it always has been.
And that's the point that I'm making, is the structure. Mm-hmm. The structure is what I'm talking about, because if you don't have any knowledge, if you can't get out in the world and have a trade, or if you don't know how to do something, if you have no thought pattern on how to do things to create wealth, what are you going to do except take handouts? That can happen in any race. But the structure that I'm talking about is that my father had a third grade education, but he made sure that I got an education. And he made sure that when I had my first son at 16, I was making almost $100,000 a year working. I had to get a permission letter from my father to work for J.I. Case Company as a welder. And the point that I'm making is, for me to come out of high school and become a MIG welder, the stick welder, and all of those things, those were things that was taught to me so that I could come into the world and make money to take care of my family if I wanted to do it, to pay my bills, and all of those things of learning how to be independent, learning something to do, are gone from the Black community and all the other communities. But I can say this, the Black community has been targeted so that those things cannot happen for our young men, and this is the result of it. Doc?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see and understand that there. And again, like I said, the why, thank you for answering my question. But, to Leticia's point, yes, we are in a caste system, but race has been used as that caste system, unfortunately. And it's been used against Black and white people to keep us at a level point. Because, yes, there are people that are in races that definitely achieve, but it's like, what are you going to sell out, and what are you going to give up, and what are you going to do? This is why we have the Jeffrey Epsteins of the world, right? I'm just saying, like, there's a lot more involved. There's a lot more levels, but I definitely agree with the caste system. We are in it.
Yeah, that's because, and just like I said, everybody want to control the black dollar. That's why they keep us so splintered, because they want that dollar. Go ahead, Mr. Benke.
Yeah. What Dr. Nichols just was talking about here, it affects everybody, because, you were talking about being a welder and going out and being able to earn $100,000 and stuff like that. We as the people can't do that no more. We're micromanaged.
Yeah.
We had the Secretary of the Economy, or whatever you called him, Hassett is his name. He was on Fox News saying that they go around make random calls to see what people are doing, what they do, how they do it, what they buy in this. And I'm like, what is it the business of government? Because the only people that and I'm always ranting on this, the people that are living the American dream is the politicians.
Mm-hmm.
They're making almost $200,000 a year. They got $2,500 dinners that they go to. They get chauffeured around. Everybody, their funerals, everything is so extravagant for them. And then, and Dave and I had this little short conversation about these TSA people getting $10,000 because they went to work.
Yeah.
Wait a minute here. How you went to work? Now, I went to work too, and I went to work while COVID was going on. Where's my $10,000? Why does government, whether it's state or federal,
Big one is money.
keeping the extra benefits? Why is there retirement? Do you know after 5 years of being in Congress, after I think it's 5 years, you get a full benefit of when you retire?
Yeah.
I've been working for 55 years.
Yeah, but that's part of the caste system. This is it.
Yeah.
And they're at the top of that food chain. Okay. I'm just saying this is what it looks like.
So
are we supposed to be living the American dream?
but see the point that I'm making, guys, and everything everybody is saying is true. But the point that I'm putting across to the Black community is that when agricultural things hit, and I was a welder for J.I. Case, and when Bill Clinton got into office, and he put everything overseas, and the company started going overseas, and they started laying welders off in the area that I was in. Now, that was my livelihood and money to take care of my wife and my children. But even though they were not hiring welders, as a man, and knowing I wasn't going to break no laws to do what I needed to do, I sought out different ways and went into different areas to find different employment because my babies needed to eat. And so I was able then, with the knowledge that I have attained from going to school and knowing God, to get into something that would replace that and keep me going as a man, a responsible, a loving father, not a daddy. My children don't call me daddy, they call me father. As a father, to be able to sustain them and sustain my household. So that's what no matter what coming, no matter if it's a COVID, it's a drought. If you are a man, you're going to make some changes so that you can adapt to the situation and seek the best of it as you can. That's what I'm talking about. That's what's missing in the Black man's life. I don't care when COVID came and my business got shut down from going into nursing homes. I rearranged myself and said, guess what? People need life insurance. I diverted myself in a different field because you know why? My babies are going to eat. And that's the training that is here that will not allow me to just lay around and smoke weed and drink and get high. It was because the knowledge that my father had put into me that in adverse situations, as a man, you need to rearrange yourself and you need to think in a manner that you can achieve your goals. That's what's missing.
You also want to, you have to do it. You want to do it. You got to make the effort, you know?
That's what I'm talking about. And so that's what I'm saying for our children, our young men, our women, that type of tenacity, that type of, I'm not going to give up, that type of, if I need to rearrange myself, that type of pride inside of you, that's what, that fire is missing. That fire has not been passed to our children. And that's why they're doing crazy stuff, because they lack the knowledge of how to do things to live in the world. They don't know how to live in the world. They don't understand it. They don't understand politics. They understand nothing. And it was all done by design, because that's why they dummied our children down in the schools. And then they put all this other stuff in there. Instead of them learning how to do something positive to live, they learn how to do nothing but hate each other and hate their parents and hate this society.
Sound like you blaming the school system. That's what I'm hearing. Because everything I'm hearing, it must have stopped after I graduated, because our teachers made us use common sense, made us made us. So everything that you're blaming on right about now is the Department of Education, but luckily that is no longer existing. It's pushed back to the state. So I don't know. I can't. It affected everybody. This tide changed in the 90s to the early 2000s. No matter if it was privatized prisons, turning the rap music and the culture against everything that we founded. So it sounds like this is a strategic plan brought to you by the powers that be, and not the scrubs of society.
Yeah, and that's the Rockefeller Foundation.
And just like Malcolm X, you gotta have
The two,
So
the
if
two
Malcolm
main,
X
the
is
two
telling
main
us
places
now,
of ed-
do
the
what?
two, the two main places of education is either in the school or in the home.
Yes, that's right. Yep.
You know,
And,
and
and for me, it
Not
started at
really.
the house.
No, it don't.
It,
No, it
it,
don't. No, it don't. After the 90s, no, it does not.
you
After
said
the
after the 90s, it was good. You're
of
right.
education started coming out and says the family and the parents no longer have control or command over their children. Stop playing with that.
That's
It
true.
started in the 90s when parents had to start relinquishing their control over their own children, no matter if it was education, discipline, or even teaching them the ABCs of living a life.
Yeah.
So no, sir, and no, ma'am. That was taken
Yeah.
out of the parents' hands in the 90s. And if you decided to discipline your children, if you decided to get them to go against the powers that be, then it was the parents and defects snatching the children out of the home. So no, it was systematically designed, and it was not the parents that decided to do it. It was the government that stepped in and relinquished everybody control over their own children. And if
Yeah.
the real parents decided to stand up, the mothers and the fathers, they winded up in jail, or their parental rights was taken away.
Yep.
And,
And you know
and,
when it was coined was in 1984. Because I had
exactly.
a younger sister. She's passed away now, but she was a product of exactly what you said.
Well,
Complete product of it.
and everything that this discussion, and to those watching the show, what I'm trying to get to is to the meat and to the root of the problem. Because just like you said, Doc, Lucretia, Steve, just like you said, in the 90s, they really killed the family structure because they took the power of the parents away. Because when I came up, then my parents, they helped educate me. My sisters taught me how to read. They taught me how to write. The teachers were more sincere. They wanted to see you become something. And that's why I'm saying this design was created for our children to be this way today, because once that you took the parents' rights away to make decisions on their children in the school system, now you got a generations of illiterates of common sense.
and that's
They're illiterate of common sense. Go ahead.
That's what I was trying to get at is prior to the 70s and the creation of the Department of Education, your education came from your home because your mom or your dad spent time with you and gave you the basic principles of life. Don't talk back to this.
Yes.
Don't talk back to your elders.
Right.
Then in the 70s, they created the Department of Education.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now education decided to come over. And as Lucretia said, now it's government.
Right.
Okay,
Being
so,
the parent.
and yes, and so, yeah, and, that was my point is you got two places of education. It's either at your home or in the school, and it's government now. So we've got to get back to where parents control the schools like they used to.
Right.
And get government out, which is what Trump's trying to do right now, is to eliminate Department of Education.
It's completely eliminated yesterday. It was dismantled and deprogrammed yesterday. So the final nail in the coffin of the Department of Education was yesterday, and now it's going back to the states.
Okay,
now, good.
And
so they're basically just what they were before initially was a financial arm, but now they cannot insert themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, they've always been a financial arm. Okay, they've always had sway. Come on, they have the money. Where do you think all this weird education came from? Come on now.
Right. And that's what I'm saying, because everything that you are saying is true. It has been a collective attitude in different phases where the black community would be, they planned that the black community, that would be not a man in the household.
Right.
That would be children and young men, children that would wake up in the morning who have been hand colored and hand fed, that don't know what to do. That the men would not be in the household because either they would be dead or in prison. You know, all of these things went in different phases. And I think to black men and women out here, we are in control of our own destiny. We need to get it out of our mind, because that's where the war is being waged at. Let me tell you, we can take our families back, but it's going to have to be that the parents are going to have to exude their authority to make it happen.
Yeah.
That's what we got to do. And to young parents who really don't understand on how to be parents, you need to get an elder somewhere. You can call my office, and believe me, we will help you deal with issues that you face. That's why I created the foundation, Living and Driving While Black. Living
Yes,
conditions
the
and
doctor
driving
and
conditions.
the pastor and Binky got all the patience in the world to deal with somebody that don't know how to deal with their kids. Yes, they do.
But I got to, because I have to from this point, because I just cannot sit and watch what's happening to us. What up, Randy? You there?
Man, look. I'm under a cyber attack or something right now, but
Yeah.
hopefully the phone will work.
Okay. So we've been talking about. You ain't
I
been
can't
heard
even hear y'all
about.
now.
Don't worry about it. They're working on you. They don't want you to say what you're gonna say, but we gonna say it for you.
And that the cyber thing has been a thing all week.
Yeah, 'cause my
So
thing.
yeah, if you're using an app, you might have to uninstall it and reinstall it. Like it's bad. I've had to do that.
I can't even hear y'all. You're coming in garbled.
We can hear you.
If you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you. Yep, we can hear you.
And now everything's frozen.
We'll try it again. Come on back and we'll try it again. But
his
Yeah.
internet it's probably his internet.
well, you know what? I had some problems with my stuff this week, especially when it comes to topics like this, because solutions, and we're gonna watch this and then we're gonna talk about solutions on what we can do, guys. Because I don't just want to
show this fight. Are you about to show that fight of them mud stomping that woman?
Yeah, I'm finna drop that.
See, I
now.
haven't watched the whole video. I've only watched it to the point where they cornered them at the fence and then it kind of cut out.
Man, I tell you, let's check it out.
I'm John Abba. Earlier this week, parents and community members would surround Orville T. Bright Elementary School in Chicago in response to a now viral video of a mother and her 9-year-old son being attacked by a group of kids. In the video, the mother would seemingly confront kids who were bullying her son, only to be met with punches and kicks by the group of children. The beating she would receive was so bad that the mother and her son were both taken to a nearby hospital. This incident would cause many to be outraged, not just at the kids for what they did, but also the parents for not doing a better job in raising them.
I'm going to be the one to say it because ain't nobody else going to say it. But to all the parents of those Chicago kids that jumped their mother and her 2 babies, y'all need to be at court on Monday.
Children like that, I'm going to beat your ass. I'm not going to even lie to you. Don't come in these goddamn comments talking about some, oh, children, this and this. Man, I'm going to beat the out of a child. I don't give a damn. Bitch, I'm going to hold a child accountable because I'm going to beat your ass. And then guess what? I'm going to say, what the your mama at? I'm going to walk to the door and I'm going to beat her ass.
Reportedly, one of the connected parents would speak out about her daughter being involved. On a Facebook post, she would write, "Let me say this first. My daughter is a great ass kid. She's an AB student, captain of the cheerleading team, ahead of her class, and some more shit. All good things from every teacher. If you know, you know. We don't owe nobody an apology, but that lady and her kids. So y'all all grown mother effers looking for a viral moment. Please shut the F up, cause kids gonna be kids. And it's kids out here that did way worse shit. Let alone y'all ass when y'all was 12 and 13 years old. Y'all ass used to be out here beating up crackheads and all. Y'all don't know us at all. She was peer pressured. If you know my family, you know if we find a friend and a mother effer, and we gonna stand behind them 100% no matter what. But this is definitely a lesson learned. She was held accountable for her actions. Y'all talk about it takes a village. She got a castle, the F, and everybody standing 10 toes behind her. I was never gonna go live making y'all mother effers feel no type of way. Once again, we do not owe y'all no apology. F y'all. Mother effers know what's going on in real life and know my kids not raised like that at all. Feel how y'all want. F y'all. Now,
okay.
But this is why that
This
happened. Because who are you raised by? Wolves? Like, what is that? You're a parent. Like, you need the parental card removed.
Mm-hmm.
You need to lose your parental card. I'm sorry.
Your thoughts, Lucretia?
I'm hood and wood. I'd have been like the people in the cars, honey. F them kids. Me and my children. No, sir. I would have went ghetto ratchet hood. I'm just throwing that out there. It'd have been war. No. See, this is why I got out. So you could take the black card, you could shove it where the sun don't shine. I got tired of that culture. I got tired of drive-bys. I wasn't raised that way, and I decided to get my kids out of that situation because that was not the way for them to go. So I am so thankful that I got out that culture and wanted something better at the age of 24. So at this point, my black card has already been snatched. So when people exclusively say, well, black people this, black people, well, let me give you my point of view of what the real deal of the black community is. And we hate each other. That's why we call it crabs in a bucket. So all of that just happened, and whoop that ass, whoop that ass. Whoop.
Right? Is that helping anything? Like, what are you doing?
Not at all.
Randy, let's give Randy some time. What's up, Randy? Go ahead.
Hey, sorry about this all technical stuff, but I was able to watch the video this time. The thing is, parents these days, they're very much detached and hands off from their children. They see them in the morning, maybe. They see them at night, maybe. But anything in between, whether they're at school or on the weekends, they out of sight, out of mind. So there's a parental problem. But outside of that, a few years back when I was living in Maryland, I used to be down in D.C. a lot. I actually sat down with a senator and talked to him about a bill that would probably fix this issue, where kids that are caught up in crime like this, the parents are held accountable. The parents pay fines or go to jail. They will endure the consequences of whatever laws are in the book as if they committed the crime. And that would then make parents be more involved in their children's lives. But it was like, well, we don't want to go down that rabbit hole. And next thing you know, we're all going to jail for something. Like, hey, it is what it is. We got to be better parents.
Right, but then our kids would be raised by wolves. There would be massive sex trafficking. So let's just dial that one back. How about we put these individuals in military school properly?
Yeah.
Properly.
Because guys,
I like it.
because let me say this. First of all, when we was coming up, that was for us. That was for us because when I got out of high school, my mom said, or my dad and everybody in the neighborhood said, if you don't get a job, you go into the military.
Look,
that
same
was
option
it.
my bonus son was given.
But see, Randy, you are correct. But let me tell you what they've done. They have put things in place that if parents start disciplining their children and them badass kids run into the line, say, my mama hit me, then DCF is at your door. And so that locks the parents' hands up. So I mean,
that's what you do. I got you. And that's what you defund that. That's what you defund that, and you get rid of DCFS.
Yeah, let's not open up prisons. Let's open up military schools. Let's start getting some actual training in on these children, and let's get back to at least a decent society and salvaging this nightmare that has become our America. I'm just saying.
There was a video that came out last week, and it was from the Fulton County Jail. Fulton County Jail. They are saying it is so outrageous on the inside with this new crop of YNs and YCs that even the guards in them have no control, even in jail. So how are we going to stop this?
Military school. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, look, send somebody to the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, especially. Oh, they will shut this down. Okay.
In the jungle, or in the Arctic. That's where you put the military school. So when they try to escape, they got nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go. But we're gonna shut this down. We're gonna get y'all right. Solution. But they will thank you. See, here's the deal. A lot of times children that are acting out like this, they want the discipline and nobody is willing to stand up to give it to them.
Amen. That's it. That is it right there. Dr. Shack, that is it.
And positively, that's correct, because if you respect authority and if you know you're going to have consequences for your actions, you're going to think before you do something. Now, it might not stop you from doing it, but then when you do it, you're going to suffer some consequences for doing it. And that's what the kids have, no fear of consequences now. Because one of the things that I feel that we have to remove this I can call you and put you in jail attitude with kids. Kids need to be in a child's place.
You know what? In my head, murder. There are 8-year-olds murdering their parents for taking away an iPad. There are 20-year-olds and their parents in their sleep because they refuse to allow them to go outside or to put them on punishment. These children are now killing their parents.
And that's the reason why I'm saying exactly what I'm saying. I wish I would have a Negro in my house. See, let me tell you something. You would be saying yes, sir, and no, ma'am in 2 weeks. I guarantee you that. But we need to put legislation back into our system where parents can discipline their children. They need, just like the woman said, they need their ass whooped so that they can respect authority.
A couple of weeks of getting up at 5 a.m. doing some PT. Like, look, you will have some straightened out human beings.
Well, you know what? They're not gonna have the affordability to go run and cry on somebody's shoulder. Because see, that's what we allowed to happen. We lost control of our kids, and then we have to kiss their ass because they throw the federal government around. And then when they do something, then we got to try to stand up and try to fix the problem as a parent now, because they do hold you accountable. So parents are
limited tools.
Too. I would just say to parents, whoop that ass and then go to court. That's how you do that.
And say, and then they say, Your Honor, you take them now.
You take them. Take the ass. You got them.
Very
Get them.
scary. Yeah, because like I want to see in California, they have a law where it's like, okay, once your child comes into the school and they pass that threshold, they're ours, but you're still responsible.
Negative.
How is that? You're not going to have you're not going to be in a relationship with me and my child. You're going to take my child, completely brainwash them, but you expect me to be responsible for whatever comes back out the door. And if I see anything against it, I'm wrong. But that's how the law is written. I'm not kidding.
It is. That's the law that we've been fighting here in the state of Illinois. Terry Newsom, I just spoke to him about that. We need to create legislation giving their parents the right back.
Yeah.
That's what's got to happen. There needs to be legislation created giving parents their parental rights back, and the schools can stay the hell out of the household. Because how is it here in the state of Illinois that some kind of homosexual coordinator can tell your child, you don't need to tell your parents if you want to change from a boy to a girl. No, we ain't gonna tell them that. They teach your child to lie to you behind your back, but then at the same time, if they want to give them an aspirin for a headache, they got to call you at home and ask you, it's okay for me to give your child an aspirin.
Or if your child gets sick from the aspirin,
it's not.
Even if you don't know if they got it.
There's no common sense. That's what's happening in our country today.
And you know, Pastor, just like the doctor said, in California, your child can be pregnant and have an abortion on your dime, and they don't have to tell you anything.
Yes, and they use your insurance on top of it.
Look, here's the problem. This is the problem. It's the parents. We, the people, have allowed government to step in and take over our duties. And that is what we've got to fix through education and knowledge to understand why this country was created, what government's job is supposed to be. And these parents, that lady writing that, you MFers and this and that, my daughter did this under peer. There's your problem right there.
Right there.
Right.
There is example. And that's what we got to fix. Military's not going to fix that. Prisons are not going to fix that.
No.
The parents have got to fix that. And the only way is people like all you guys and what you do that get hooked up with parents and get them out of the system off to the side and say, look, This is way it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Turn off the TV, turn off the internet, shut down these politicians, because I'm going to tell you, the last person that understands what freedom and laws are is a politician.
Mhm.
Yep.
Oh,
Because they want control.
That's
Yep.
exactly it.
But parents now have to really advocate for themselves and for their children, because we cannot continue down this road. And again, what I'm saying is this: why is it so intensified in the Black community? Just think about that. You don't see this type of activity in white society at this level. I'm sure it's there, because bullies is bullies.
It's there.
Mhm.
It's there.
But you don't see it at this level of ignorance and intensity against other Black people. See, that's why I keep saying is that Black people have lost their moral structure,
Mhm.
because morality and the sense of pride and the sense of diffusing situations, all common sense ideas have been thrown out the Black community, and we got a bunch of educated fools that has book
Mhm.
sense but no education of common sense.
And that's because of people like Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson.
Mhm.
They're the ones that are affecting the Black community and putting hatred in the Black community, not only for the white people, but at the Black people.
yep.
Yeah.
Well,
But
and
we were taught by our parents, these are our leaders.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's
Mhm.
part of the problem. If your leaders are failing you and they're flawed, then they have to go and you no longer follow them, right? But it's like they shouldn't be determining your moral compass.
Exactly.
To your
Exactly.
point, Vicky, your moral compass is determined at home
Woo.
exactly.
before you go outside.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
you're a reflection of what happens in your house.
Yes.
And we've got away from shaming people for being crazy outside. Like, what's going on in your house that you're acting like this outside of your house?
I
Mhm.
told this to Pastor David here a while back. Back in the 70s, I went to an all-Black church. And I sat there and I listened to the pastor basically, and I'm not saying word for word, but he was saying white people were evil. They were hated. And I'm a white guy sitting in an all-Black church going, am I going to get alive?
Right?
You know, I'm like, I can't believe this. How did what Dr. King was trying to accomplish, and 10 years, 12 years later, I'm sitting here feeling like I'm not going to live through this. How are we going ahead here and fixing problems that Dr. King wanted to get fixed?
Because we forgot
Mhm.
about making sure that before you go outside, you have a foundation of who you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's all he was really telling us. And it got lost in, hey, let's, tell everybody, it's about the color, not about the color of your skin, the content of your character. Let's say all the pretty words, but everybody
Right.
forgot the foundation. You're supposed to be whole before you go outside.
Well, that foundation don't make people money.
Well, see, that's now,
It can,
guys, if
you're right.
We're all talking now, but that's where I was from the beginning. That's what I was saying. The structure that used to be in the Black community to create other leaders, the structure to create men responsible to have kids. Just like I said, that structure is gone because now we have educated parents who are so educated that they go along with the program because they scared them. Now, if you lose your job, you got to let your kid take over your house because you lose your job, you lost everything. And see, that's cowardice.
Mm-hmm.
That cowardice spirit has led to the downfall of the Black community. Because you would think right now, to the American people and patriots across this country, God blesses a child that has his own. And we got all of these educated Negroes in place that call themselves politicians, actors, doctors, lawyers. If they was really concerned about the Black community, like they say that they are, that when they're in open places, they're talking about how they want to do this in the community and how they want to do this. And you got the rappers talking about they did this. Well, if y'all did so damn much, why are we in this condition? It's just the word of the mouth. It ain't talking about nothing serious.
Hey, David, can I ask a question here?
Go ahead.
Yes.
Dr. Ben Carson, Herman Cain, okay? Why did the black people just crap all over them? Why did the black people put them down? They made themselves what they were.
Lucretia, you answer that.
I can only tell you what Herman Cain told me after all of everything he has went through in his life. If not what they call you, it's what you answer to. It still didn't stop him getting ostracized from the black community. He did not care. He no longer cared because he knew that was not his path in life. And the people that was going to listen to him, they was going to hear what he has to say. So the reason why, because he didn't agree with them and what they was planning on doing to the black community. And so he spoke out about it, just like Malcolm X did, and they kicked him out of the community.
And to take it one step further, Dr. King as well, because when Dr. King realized what he had did, he made a sermon. He said, I brought my people into a burning house. And what he did, what he meant by that was he bit the apple of uncertainty, trying to chase the white community instead of standing on his own, like Malcolm was saying. Because Malcolm was saying, let us be self-sufficient, let us teach our own, let us have our own schools. That was what would have made, that's what made America great, because of our individualism. So see, that's the whole thing from the very beginning. That's why I say, if the black community is going to survive from this point, we got to take our money out of this system and reinvest it into each other. Because see, let me tell you about the SNAP, okay? I felt some kind of way when I heard black men on the news, and they intensified in our community. Man, if I don't get my SNAP money, I'm gonna have to go out and rob somebody.
Yep.
See, that bullshit right there. That means that you ain't a man, and you can't be a man because you haven't been taught how to be a man.
That part.
That's what I'm talking about. Because see, just like when the adversity happened in my life, I switched gears. If I had to learn another trade or whatever the case may be, I did that because I had to feed my babies. And you ain't no damn man if you running around here talking that shit about some damn food stamps.
But you got to remember, a lot of those people were paid opposition as well. A lot of those influencers paid to say and do things like that. So this not some of those people, it looked it.
See, I was taught to, you're a bigger man just to, when somebody comes up to start trouble with you and make friends, you're a bigger man just to smile, turn around, and walk away. Now it's, I'll shoot you, I'll run you over, I'll beat you, whatever. Right? That don't make you a man.
No.
It just makes you wrong.
I want to play a little bit more of this clip.
Training.
And it's true. It is true. Let's play a little bit more of this.
You should be giving her consequences to her actions. It's always, my kid is a great kid, after they committed a crime. Your child made the first viral moment, and this shady, ratchet, distasteful post by you created the second viral moment. Instead of trying to save face, go handle your kid and make up what she did to that woman and her two beautiful kids. People be killing me trying to play victim after they were the ones who created the issue. Now, it would appear that the alleged child of that mother would later take to social media to issue a tearful apology. The video will start off with a family friend warning viewers to be respectful because a young girl is a child.
We're just coming live so she can say her piece and take accountability. I won't say too much. And please, anyone that decides to say anything, keep it respectful. This is the child.
Hey, my name is Kamira Grant, and
Speak up.
That's not sincere.
Speak up. What you whispering for?
I was wrong for
Boo.
Never did what I did.
You did anyway.
Now,
Like I
after
said,
the
she's old
apology,
enough to be
some
sent to military
assumed the
school.
She was
She's old
not.
enough to be sent to military school. She's in 8th grade. I think she's like 13 or something like that. Yeah, military school. Like that's where you need to be.
Here's this
Straight
is
up.
Dr. Oh my God.
You're so smart. You're a straight A student. Awesome. Military school.
Oh, I'm such a sweet girl, and I got such a small voice. And I guarantee you, she was ratchet out there on the street. That was not sincere. That was a bunch of gaslighting. I'd have been like, speak up.
She was more hurt having to say or give the idea that she was sorry. That's what she was hurt about. Is she didn't want to say it, but she was being forced to. I think.
Right.
Military
Because
school.
This is what Corey Holcomb had to say it here in Chicago.
Bangers, grown or not, would not run up on you while you was with your mama because there was still respect in the community. If your mama came and picked you up from school and walked with you, gangbangers would be like, nah. Okay, you with your mama. There was still enough respect in the community where a family was given a pass. Now, nothing. I can sit up here and tell you, the kids can get it. The presence of a strong male is gone. So the children are going to run amok and get gunned down as they home invade people's house.
Now, outside of other solutions being highlighted like tougher parenting, it appears that Chicago has noticed an issue with some of its kids and have been thinking of solutions. Back in 2023, Chicago Councilman Ray Lopez would propose that parents get fined up to $5,000 if their child is involved in any public unruly behavior. According to the New York Post, under Lopez's proposal, any legal guardian who willfully or knowingly allows their child to engage in a host of offenses, wreaking havoc on the quality of life in Chicago neighborhoods, would be subject to fines ranging from $1,000 to $5,000. The offenses range from panhandling, underage and public drinking, cannabis use, violating curfew, and climbing on cars to street takeovers and drag racing. The mother in the now viral video has since been released from the hospital and has begun to demand that the school system in Chicago do more to protect their students from bullying.
All right, guys.
Military school. I'm gonna say it again from the rooftops because you cannot. How should I say it? Find people into compliance.
Exactly.
You cannot write legislation to make people act right. But what you can do is put in enforcement that can change behavior. That's what you can do. Like I'm telling you, babies need military school. That's all I'm saying.
I remember something that they called the Audi home, the bad boys home.
Oh yeah, and they had it for girls too.
Yeah,
they had something like that for girls, but I'm talking about military school. I ain't talking about no halfway situation.
Basically, Audi home was for the pre-prison plan. See?
Yeah, but that's the problem, and it set them up with it didn't set them up with a rehabilitative mindset.
Yes,
I'm talking about Servite. Servite is an all-male military school in Los Alamitos, California. Turns out some of the best human beings you would ever not know about, because most of them go straight to Congress after they've been to Yale and Harvard and all that stuff.
Ain't it funny how the politician steps in and goes, I got a solution for the problem that they created?
Right.
Government's created all this problem, whether it's in the schools, whether it's in the lawmaking. The Safety Act is let's bring that up. These judges that decide to make excuses for somebody who's made 49 crimes, walking free. This is the problem. And then you got a politician. Well, we'll fine you $1,000 to $5,000 and blah blah. No, you're not fixing a problem.
No,
you make your money off the problem. That's what they want to do.
You're using your power and making money. That's
change her life. That lady, the woman that just got released from the hospital, that was her breaking point. She is no longer part of that culture. The first place and the first time she's able to leave that culture, she's gone.
Okay, folks.
She's gonna walk just like me. She's gonna be like that.
Look at this clip, and that's what has happened.
To pay attention about complaints of bullying. Also, there has been an outpouring of support for the victims of this attack.
This is not how she says she wants the world to see her. Korshanda Hatter has sickle cell, but she says she has never endured such pain.
So much pain, emotional, physically, I'm not feeling good at all.
Today she spoke with us, still under treatment for the serious beating she took on Monday as she walked her 2 kids home from Bright Elementary School. Hatter says she told the school staff for 2 years her son was being bullied. Sometimes, she says, older kids would follow him home.
2 years and they have not done a thing. If they see me coming towards the school, they will run or tell the security that they're not, to tell me that they're not there.
Video shared tens of thousands of times on Facebook shows the attack. You can see her being punched and eventually falling to the ground, where the assault turns even more violent. We've frozen the video here because it's too graphic.
Yeah.
That her child that was bracing his mom?
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Because she's pregnant. She's also pregnant. But where's the dad? There's
Oh,
3
the dads.
humans.
We gonna watch the dads.
There's 2.5 humans. Like, where's this male counterpart? Like, what are we doing?
So guys, this is why all night I tossed and I turned about this, because this shows the lack of structure in the Black family to the place where there is no holds. I mean, there's no rules. There's no structure anymore. And for this to be happening, we need to be figuring out a way right now to get the power back into the family, because just like what Steve said, like all of you guys have been saying, is that the family has to make a comeback. We got to have parents that are knowledgeable. We have to empower them and get their parental rights back so that we can start getting these kids under control. They cannot be under control living in somebody's house with the fines, like Lopez said. As soon as I get into office, I'm going to get him out of there. Like Lopez says, find the parents. You find the parents, but you still got DCFS sitting on the other side saying, if you touch them, I'll take them. And so you put the parents in a quandary where they can't do nothing but accept the responsibility of the bad actions of a kid that need an ass whooping. That's what. Here's the father. I want to play the father and see what the father, how he felt.
Raises money to get out of Chicago. She need to be in the rural area of suburbia with her children and put them in a better school district where they're going to have a future. Now that was the breaking point for that mother. When she leaves the Black culture that she's in, her whole life is about to turn around.
It has already turned around. Check this out.
Point. We've also blurred the faces of the people involved because they are minors and no charges have been filed.
I'm at work, and if I was with them, it wouldn't have happened.
Devon Lee Sr. is the kid's father.
I want justice. I definitely want the school to be responsible, and the parents too, and also the kids that have done that mess.
Hatter, who says her whole body hurts, says she's trying to be there for her children who have endured so much trauma.
They both is devastated. They keep talking about it. My son will just jump out of his sleep at night, calling my name.
We also have trauma too. You know, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep at all. I had to force myself to sleep because every time I close my eyes, I see the video.
Today, the city's deputy mayor tells us they are working on getting more help for the family and other families in that neighborhood. A donation box at Living Fresh Market in Forest Park was installed today to help the family and others who may need clothes and toys this season. This after yesterday's rally of support by parents and residents in front of Bright School. Hatter shares amid her pain, she is able to find gratitude.
I thank God for those people. I never felt this much love in the world.
Deputy Mayor Gary Gatewood tells us that CPS is investigating what happened here. When did they know about it? What did they know? And how something like this could have been prevented. CPD tells us they are also continuing their investigation. Now, meanwhile, the family has left the neighborhood. They will be relocated and the children will be enrolled in a new school. And Ms. Hatter tells us all of the people who have made promises and commitments over the last 24 hours, she hopes that they will remember this family in the weeks, months, and years to come.
All right, guys, one at a time, your thoughts.
I'm crying for the child. I'm crying for the child because he's going to always remember him trying to save his mom.
Yes,
from
yes, traumatized.
nightmares. Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah.
Randy,
those kids, they're gonna grow up and they're gonna reflect back on that, and they're gonna say, you know what, that was just really jacked up what we did, and now we're out there forever and a day, known as these hoodlums that did this. And for the victims, on the victim side of that, I would not be surprised. And I hate to put this out there in the universe, but I would not be surprised if those kids grew up and they have that mindset of vengeance because of that. They know who those kids were. So they'll be like seeking them out for the rest of their lives. I would be surprised if that came to fruition. I hope it does. I hope they can grow past it and find the cure that they need and the mental help that they need to get past that. But these are the things that manifest at an early age, and you grow up and you start exacting that revenge and that vengeance and that hateful mindset because of these kind of situations. So I say God bless them all and Godspeed, and hope things turn around for them.
Doc?
Well, I'm really hoping that, because Chicago, especially within the state of Illinois, has been under attack for decades, right? Especially within the school system. And, to Lucretia's point, this has been generational. We are now seeing the product of the crack generation. And like I said, the between the parents and the school, that divide needs to be broken, because that is the missing link. That relationship right there. You have to be in constant relationship to have a better community. So people are either going to fight for their community, or they are going to allow government to continue to destroy their community. That's it. There are no other excuses. Everybody's got to get off the couch and do the work. And if you have teachers that aren't helpful, get rid of them. And if you have parents that need extra assistance, you know what? Somebody needs to stand up to be that man or that woman, to be that mentor, period. We have to now, we can no longer just kind of put it off on somebody else.
Mr. Binky?
Well, it was nice, she felt the community came together and brought them, clothing and brought them stuff. But I would hope that what happened to her and maybe her would take that step beyond and go farther with it and start getting a group together and start changing their society and their school and start building what's been taken and torn down. It's good that they came together and did, they had their get together. That's not fixing the problem.
Right.
And I hope they can get together as a group and say, they're going to be the ones that are going to have to end this. Not no elected official, not no assistant mayor. It's going to be them. And I hope they get together and say, okay, this is a start now.
Right.
Let's get something accomplished.
Well, I want to say this because this is very emotional. I can feel it. Let me say this to the present day politicians. You guys are a bunch of heartless bastards. You sit around and you get paid, and you're supposed to be looking for ways to better the black community. Instead, you sit around on your ass and you take that money and you look for ways for it to be destroyed. This all started with Barack Hussein Obama, the king queer. His mission was to make sure that we don't raise black men anymore. His mission was to destroy the black family and make sure black men and women don't be normal anymore, because he wanted to make it abnormal. This attack has been on us for a long time. But if we're going to change it from here, if we don't get rid of the sorry politicians that we have in office like Brandon Johnson and the educated Boule Negroes, this is not going to stop. because they're going to sit back and they're going to watch it happen and say, this is the reason why we need a new community, and continue to take money that could restore this. That our community should be restored with all the money that they gave the illegals. Brandon Johnson, with his funky ass, should have already been investing money into the black community like he said that he was going to do when he ran for mayor. To the people of Chicago, the black community, we can change this. We can change this in 2027 when you guys elect me mayor of Chicago. I guarantee you, we're going to get our own schools. We're going to rebuild our communities, and we're going to let the parents be parents to raise our children with some structure. So all y'all educated Negroes that are wondering if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And it's going to happen in 2027. And all of those who are taking money, you will be put in prison for the crimes you've committed against black people in the city of Chicago, all the Democrats and all the major blue cities. You have decimated the black community with other black people claiming they love black people. Guys, y'all last words on this, and I'm out of here.
Well, I'm hoping, that you definitely win that nonpartisan seat, because you definitely have a passion for the city of Chicago. And I definitely want people to check out the Redemption Party at usaredemptionparty.com.
Mr. Binky, your last words. We got to get out of here.
After you watch these videos and stuff like that, and you see what's happened to the black community, I just hope everybody decides that we can't live like this. We can't survive like this. And you're the change, not government, not somebody else. It's you. So do something.
Blessings. Lucretia.
My feelings hurt. My feelings are so hurt at what I just Pastor. It's a shame that we have to sit here and watch something like that and it be normalized in society. The only thing that I can put God first, put your family always, protect them, and do the best that you can. So that's about all I can say. But just recognizing and realizing, I saw the clips, but I didn't know that was a child holding back his mom as she's being brutally attacked by a community of. I don't think I'm gonna get that out of my head. That hurt my feelings, Pastor. And we need strong people like you and Randy and Mr. Binky and the doctor and all this to continue to stand out there on the forefront. Because at this point, I'm about like Randy. F those kids.
Yeah.
Randy, you got the last words, my friend.
Hey, thank you, Pastor Lowry. I'm like this. Parents need to get back to, disciplining their children. However and whatever that may look like and whatever it may be required, because only parents know their kids and know how to get through to their kids. So, aside from DCFS and CPS and all that, let them come. Like, you know what? You can take them. You want to add this burden onto the society? You want to add this burden onto taxpayers? You go right ahead. I guarantee you this. Parents, the taxpayers, they're going to get tired of that. They're going to say, that's that parent's responsibility. I'm not going to be paying for this, and this, that, and the third, and all these services and all that. That's how you reduce the burden on the system. That's how you restore parental responsibility, parental rights, and by getting the government, city government, local government, whichever government, out of people's lives, out of parents' lives, and let parents raise their kids, get discipline in their kids, and make the society a much better place. God bless you all. Thanks, Pastor, and see y'all next time.
Folks, I want to thank you for tuning in to the show. We had a great conversation, but I hope that it's food for thought. The solutions are we have to get rid of bad politicians who are making policies, who are tying the hands of parents so that they cannot discipline their children. The Bible talks about if you spare the rod, you spoil the child. And we can see that the government has stepped into the families, especially in the black community, and have tied parents' hands so that they cannot structure and properly discipline their children. And two black men, as a man, our responsibility is to be a provider, a protector, the leader of the family, to ensure that you, no matter what happens in your life, you don't take the wrong road, but you stand strong and rely on God to give you wisdom and knowledge that you can take care of your family. But black men today need to understand, they need to know about how to do something and how this country and how the world operates. Because your manhood has been stolen. If you're not working and you can't take care of yourself, if you don't have a trade to learn to make money, if you're not loyal, I have no integrity, that if you have a wife or a girlfriend, if you have none of the qualities of being a man, then how can you be a man if you don't know how? And so I'm letting black men across the country know today, seek knowledge, read, research. Stop looking for excuses to be successful. We got to shake this Stockholm syndrome, for we know the enemy attacks us in different ways. And the major players have always came after our economics and to take away our manhood because we couldn't take care of ourselves and our family. That's why I'm telling black men, it's time for us to get out of the system and control our dollars. Let's take the ideas of the Black Wall Street, because those people that created the Black Wall Street didn't have an education. My father only had a third grade education, but he made sure that he instilled the structure, the fearlessness, being a protector, being loyal, having integrity, being an honorable man. And those are the things that you don't get from a daddy. Those are the things that you get from being a father. God bless you. God, y'all guys, it's Thursday. Y'all have a good evening. God bless you. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. If I don't see you tomorrow, have a great weekend. And remember, we got to get back to God so he can recreate our mindset to have a family again in the black community. Peace.